Okay. So, now, what kind of shenanigans should I get up to tonight? Okay. So, now, what kind of shenanigans should I get up to tonight? So I can go gank Lobies. I can go hit up Ashran. Okay. I can do a lot of stuff. Let's go poke around on Ashran and just kind of see what's going on. So as you can tell, I've got an Ellie Shaman. I can go gank Lobies. You know, Ashran is its own sadness, but I figured, you know, I play a rogue is my main. This expansion, normally I'm a priest, shadow priest, or a warrior, and this expansion I decided to go rogue because, well, I was tired of hunter, I was tired of everything else. I never tried a rogue, so here I am, and I like picking the weird classes. I picked shaman now just to have some fun with, and I also picked. Oops, I picked the wrong place to go to. Yeah. So here I am. So, anyways, I started playing Ellie. This is after I bought my what do you call it? My pre-order for the expansion. I boosted this to 100. My professions are 0, 0, 0, everything. I've leveled fishing, more times than I care to admit. Yeah, fishing was horrible. So anyways, let's go ahead to Ashran and see what's going on. I play on Tichondrius. You know, it was kind of funny because a long time ago, when I first started playing this game, I remember I lived in Canada. I was a Guild Wars player at the time. And the guy, when I bought the game, the box, the retail box, he said, you know what? You need to go on Tichondrius. It's the best PvP server. And this is probably like mid to late 2005, right at the game's heyday. And he said to come to come play at Tichondrius. And I was just like, whatever. You know, I didn't know what that meant. I had no clue. And then I just never bothered. But in the end, I wound up here on Tichondrius, which is funny because I just moved here and I'm in a guild with one of the longest standing sets of members. Some of the developers actually founded this guild a long time ago. And I think the one developer who used to be the former guild master, he does the level design for the game for a lot of different areas. He actually designed Storm Shield here, so if you have any likes or dislikes about Storm Shield, he is the guy. And supposedly there's some people in here that are named after some of our guild members, some of the NPCs, which is kind of funny. So yeah, that's that. So we're just gonna sell. I've been working on consortium rep. That is just the worst rep you can imagine. You've got to go and grind a bunch of things that you just don't even want to grind. It's probably one of the worst rep grinds I've ever done by far, so I'm not going to subject you to that. So I'm waiting for my Ashran queue to pop. I'm just going to hop in the random battleground thing just for something to do, because this is super boring, waiting in Ashran. I'm honestly very, very excited waiting for the new expansion. I really enjoyed this expansion, but honestly, if we have another thing like with SOO where it's 14 months or whatever it is, I think I'll go crazy. So I'm glad that roughly about a year or something like that. So, anyways, so right now instead of worrying about raiding, I mean this is just a PvP character that I boosted. What I'm doing is just trying to figure out what are some cool transmog things I can go get. What are some fun transmog pieces. This is by far my favorite one-handed weapon in the game. You just look so cool with this thing. Hardly anybody uses it. Every time I've ever seen anybody pull it out, they're just like, you know, just this random person, and this thing really makes you look so tough, especially if you dual wield this thing. It's crazy. I do it as a rogue, or I try to. In PvP I do, but the stupid thing is that getting those weapons, two fist weapons to drop in PvE is just like, that's an exercise in frustration, because what happens is it seems like in the last two tiers in HFC and in the previous tier, there was one fist weapon on maidens, so you had to get pretty far into the instance in order to do that. And then you also had to, let's go gank some lobies. Where can we go? Let's go to, yeah, let's go over to the horde area. Or you had to get to the end of, I think it was Fell Lord Zakoon. Oh, here we go. No lobies. Let's get this. You had to go get all the way to Fell Lord Zakoon to get a 715 fist weapon. So it's just, I was so frustrated because my Mog, I'm one of those people who absolutely has to have just the right Mog, and I got driven crazy because I didn't have just the right Mog. I had one awesome looking weapon as a rogue, and I looked like this amazing demon hunter, and then the rest of my Mog looked great, but then that one piece of just the wrong weapon was very sad. So in BGs, I'm still learning this character. It's funny because shamans, I'm used to priests, you know, we've got fear, we've got all sorts of tricks, we've got, yeah, just a lot more to deal with in our healing toolkit. Druids can run around, they've got tons of mobility. Shamans, wow, I mean, you know, we output a tremendous amount of DPS and healing. Outside of cooldowns, though, we just, man, we are sitting ducks. I mean, if you get a geared warrior sitting on your face, you are just not probably going to end well. I use Earth Grab and Call of the Elements just to try to get through some of those things, but rogues, you know, oftentimes will just cloak, so that doesn't help. Yeah, and damage, those things that breaks so easily with damage. So yeah, it's not a good thing for a shaman, but I'm by far not a shaman expert. I'm still learning the DPS, the ins and outs of the DPS. I know for Shadow, I played Shadow for a number of years, so all the dot snapshotting and all this other crazy stuff, but there's a lot of things in Elemental that I'm still picking up, like, you know, what your proper prioritizations are and all that kind of stuff. But if you just keep getting Lava Burst procs, it's just so much fun. I don't take, what is it? Oh, the one that lets you have 2 charges of stuff, Echo of the Elements. I don't take that, I just take the one that allows you to get 30% haste, because that goes right with Ascendance, and man, you just pump out stuff. I also have a on mouse over macro for Flame Shock. The more Flame Shocks you have rolling at any one time, you can basically get more procs. So if you have 3, let's see now, where's this guy going? He's going to leave the Ellie Shaman by himself. That's just not a good idea. Please have 1 or 2 stay at LH. I'm the raid leader, that's just perfect. Bean Baggins. That's probably like my only... Oh no, I have a few silly name characters, but I laughed. I can never in WoW find names that mean anything that is interesting. Because they're already taken, especially on an old server like Tichondrius. I know they used to be pretty relaxed about putting your name. They would sometimes even get your name reclaimed. They don't do that anymore, from what about putting, unless it's like a really, really old name. I've had people report funny guild names and stuff that we had that weren't RP enough and all that kind of fun jazz. So let's see here. This is really boring. It's like you're up at 6 a.m. Well, we just got rolled over there, so this is probably just a failed BG. Yep. Yep. I get to move in a few days. Well, no, a few weeks actually. I'm yeah, it's something that I don't know anybody who's excited about moving, but yeah, I've got to move in a few days. That's gonna be a big shift, big life shift. Oh, let's see here. Yeah, this BG looks pretty sad. I'm gonna push up and see. You know, I don't know if the tooltip's broken, but Searing Totem says it has a range of 401 yards. I mean, like, what in the world? That's like on the other side of the map. That's like 10 times your cast range. I don't even know if that's true. I'm like, does it despawn before you even get that far away? I have no idea. Never put it to the test. Okay, it's just time to run. Yes, this was bad as soon as I got here. Ah, run away. Yeah. Yeah, see that warrior just... Well, I guess I had half the other team on me as well. So anyways, that was kind of sad. I don't think I know how to play healer as a shaman well enough to actually make any sort of difference. I probably could though. I played healers ever since vanilla, but actually maybe I'll do that. I just bought all DPS gear because I thought, I just boosted this a couple days ago, or a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, and I've got, still have like 3,000 more honor I can get. So maybe I'll get, I think I got all the, no, I got haste multi-strike. I think mastery versatility is what you need for Ellie Shaman, for rest of shamans. DPS, the things, okay. So, people usually run away. I didn't even have to pop Transcendence there. But people usually get pretty frightened when they start seeing those lava bursts start flying at them at Mach 10. Lightning Bolt, honestly, it's just this lame filler skill that never feels like it does anything. I mean, it's just, yeah. Yeah, we just blast these guys out of there. Yeah. It's so funny because that does not actually work as well as it should. What do you call it? Storm, whatever that is. Thunderstorm. I don't know why, like sometimes it'll hit people but it won't knock them back. It's just so annoying. It's like the only thing that can consistently be, the only consistent button I can use to like knock people back is no matter what, you know, they get knocked back if it hits them. Whereas like in other situations, you know, I need to hex here. What is this? Oh boy, I ate my own frog. Alright, here we go. Yeah, see. Okay, well, I popped hero just to make sure. Well, the road fighting, wonderful. But yeah, so anyways, I'm just waiting for this mess to be over and I'll go to Ashran or something, but... Wow, this guy's like... calling people out because they're from Tichondrius. You know, it's funny because servers have different reputations. You know, some of them are, you know, very PvE oriented, some are, you know, very like, oh, that guy's got an anti-magic shell. I'm gonna purge that off. Some have, yeah, PvP. This ain't good. That guy's got almost the same mog as me. I don't like how this is making me feel right now. Oh, that was weird. Literally teleported right back to exactly where he was. Okay, so let me see. Let me put some pressure on this guy. see, now I'm starting to get a lot of lava surge procs because I've got more and more. So lava surge is, now I'm in trouble. Oh, yeah, now I'm in real trouble. Run away.
That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet.
Oh, now I'm really in trouble. Just pull him away from all his homies. Let's see if he blocked stuffs that. Oh yeah, he did. Oh, sneaky.
That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet.
Yeah, see, all my cooldowns are blown. And I was waiting for that. Yeah, warriors are like... I'm used to playing a warrior, but man, I'm not used to playing other classes. I'm used to hitting people in the face as a warrior. Let's see here. So, well, there's no hope of winning this game, but yeah. Yeah, it's funny because I've played this game ever since 2005, so it came out in November 2004, and I probably started playing it sometime in September-ish of 2005. So I was there when AQ was current content. Man, that was... People always talk about the glory days of WoW, and I can honestly say there definitely were glory days for WoW. For me, there was definitely a time when, you know, the game was brand new, everything was awesome. But then, you know, as you start to have things in your life change or you can't spend as much time with it, it's not that you don't get to spend as much time or get as much gear, it's that you don't get to build the friendships and the relationships in the game that you could when you did have a lot of time to spend on the game. And that's the thing that really keeps you into it, you know, gearing up and you know, beating bosses and having fun in PvP and doing whatever. That's cool, but it's such a social game. And yeah, it's all my friends, and I don't think any of my friends play this game anymore that I originally played with, which is kind of too bad. So let's just go down and farm some HKs down here. I think this character has, I don't know, like less than 3,000 honor kills, I think. It's kind of funny. So here we go. Going crazy. Lava Surge, Lava Surge. I'm going to sit on the healer. See, if I get Lava Surge procs, you really start throwing some serious damage at people. In short order, too. See this guy, frog that guy. Oh no, this rogue's gonna kill me. Come on. Hey. Yeah, so let's go see what happens in Ashran. Yeah, I've already, I farmed all my stuff this week. This character, yeah, is a fresh 100. I boosted them out when I bought the pre-order. And they're just using them for PvP, just to kind of learn the class a little bit. And then I decided on one outfit, and it's driving me crazy because in order to get the chest piece, I need to get Exalted with Consortium, which is just sad. So what is it? So let me go load it up. This one chest piece, Mist Shroud Tunic. It is, I think it's nice. It's pretty. Goes with the set. The colors are nice. The gold is nice and everything. But man, yeah, to get it, I'm not even kidding. It is, yeah, Exalted with Consortium. Even when the content was current, I don't know people that went around getting Exalted with Consortium. So it's kind of amusing. Anyways, alright, let's see what kind of wonderful festival this turns out to be. I still have 3,000 conquest I can earn. Oh, that looks like a meat grinder out front, so let's skip that. Ghost Wolf is so OP. Here, when you have the book, it's like 100% mount speed. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's just, it's not fair. Oh, yeah, it's funny, you know, I don't have consistent arena partners, so I like to, depending on the character, do Ashran for capping, and then I do just kind of random world PvP and battlegrounds, which is okay. I mean, I certainly miss having constant arena partners. I was never Mr. Arena, but you know, got up to just about 1800 when that actually meant something. So I've never been someone who was a top 10% player, but I always had fun, no matter what. Especially playing some kind of like funky classes and different things. When we played Double Healer, was it like season 4 or 5 or something? That was just, no, season 7 or 8. The Ice Crown, the final season of the Ice Crown expansion. When warriors were just beasts when they got all their gear. So, I'm just gonna pop. Well, okay, well, we won that event in record time. So, I'm just pop Descendants. I'd usually just kind of go all out on these events. Just there's like no point, and I'm gonna let that guy go. What is he, a prot warrior? No, I don't think so. Yeah. But people usually melt pretty fast in BGs and in Ashran. Once I get going with all my, the first probably 15 seconds of all the procs with Ascendants and everything else, you just melt people. But then after that, that's kind of the sad part, is that you kind of have to play a different kind of game, because with Elemental, you've got to, I kind of look at it like how Shadow Priests just have sick damage when they multi-dot. And so I've got an on mouse over macro for Flame Shock, because if you multi-dot Flame Shock on different targets, it allows you to get more procs of free instant cast lava bursts. So that's basically something that you just kind of spam to get rolling, and it's got, I think, like a 25-second, so you can see how often it's proccing now. It's just, I've got it on quite a few people now. So, but yeah, and the reason why you want that too is because Lava Burst, I think it does double damage when it's on, ooh, I got 2 procs in a row. Yeah, see, that's just, the procs just come rolling in at that point. But yeah, Lava Burst does a ton more damage when Flame Shock is on there. And then one of the other things that you do to really put a lot of pressure on people is for Chain Lightning. What you want to make sure of is that if you can hit 3 people at once with your Chain Lightning, do it, because Chain Lightning that hits 3 people gives you the ability to proc an instant. Help me! Let me heal out of that. It gives you a instant. What do you call it? Sorry, I got all distracted. I had people on me. Yeah, sorry. It'll give you a. Okay, sorry, hold on. Man, I forgot what I was talking about. That's brilliant. Well, it's okay. We won. I get distracted very easily. Plus, I'm like super sick. I've got a crazy fever right now, and I haven't slept in a while. So apparently the team just ran away, and I was just sitting here waiting for that to get ganked, apparently. But yes, they're all already over there, running to points unknown. So let me just keep going. But yeah, so as a Shadow Priest, you multi-dot to get insane amounts of damage, but on a priest, you can wind up getting, you don't get extra procs so much unless you have the talent that gets your ticks of Vampiric Embrace to give you instant Mind Blasts, which is cool. But the thing that that I actually like about an Elemental Shaman is that the thing that gives you extra procs is Flame Shock, but it's also a cast that lasts probably an extra 10 seconds, so you don't have to recast it as much. And then also it's instant cast, so it doesn't interrupt your DPS flow as much either. Still takes your global away, but you wind up getting just more into the rotation. I decided to give myself Hex Week bags because one of my characters is a tailor. It was probably completely useless and pointless considering this is probably only going to be a PvE character or a PvP character, but as I'm farming rep for different factions to get that Mog and different things, it's just nice to have bags that don't really have anything in them. So here's a good example of when you're going to cast a chain lightning that's going to hit 5 people. Of course they moved out of it, that's brilliant. It can only proc every... Oh, get away from me. It can only proc every 10 seconds, I think? Or no, it can proc more than that, but you can't cast... It doesn't reset the cooldown on Earthquake, so it doesn't really make a difference. Yeah. It's funny because I can kite people like crazy over here because of my speed. Yeah, but the thing I'm still getting used to is when to use Earth Shock instead of Flame Shock on people. Because you have these stacks. I use Tell Me When to stack my what do you call it? My cooldowns, so you can see very clearly like, oh, okay, this is on this target. These ones up here indicate that there's a buff on that target, so this, or a debuff. So this Flame Shock is on that target, and I know it's really important because then it allows me to cast Lava Burst, knowing it'll be 50% extra damage. I try to prioritize. I've seen in different guides where it says you should prioritize casting Lava Burst like all the time, but I don't know. It just seems. It just seems kind of crazy to not have that extra 50% damage. So, and for PvP, I really don't know. I've mostly read PvE guides, so I have no idea. So this looks like your typical thing here for Ashran. I usually do this late at night. I try to do it sometimes during the day, but man, it is really awful sometimes. So I'll just go in and out and see if there's a hot team I can get in with, and if I can, cool, and if not, then I'll just bounce and go do something else. Oh man, this is totally unrelated to anything to do with WoW, but I play bass, and I bought an instrument, and it was on eBay for just a crazy price, super good. I remember thinking just like, wow, that's amazing, how in the world did they do that? And so I got it, and when I bought it, it says mint, and it looks great. I mean, it looks fantastic, but I got it out, and the smell, I'm not even kidding. It's a 2003 instrument, so it's 13, 14 years old. But the smell, dude, I don't think I've ever smelled something like that. I literally opened up the box that it came in, and the bag smelled like a cat or something had peed in it, or there was like old sweat that had just permeated the bag and the base. Oh, literally, I was so sad because the price was great, but it smells so bad. So I've been trying to air it out and see if there's any way to get rid of the smell, because I want to keep it because it sounds amazing, but it literally just smells so bad. Oh, I've never seen anything like that. I was so disappointed when that happened, but it's sitting in my windowsill right now, trying to air out. I put all sorts of like wood cleaner on it in the hopes that it'll get better. And the reason I brought that up is I just got a message from a person on eBay who sold it to me, because I was like, I was kind of worried because I thought, oh no, is this something that like, maybe it was a relative's and you sold it and maybe they passed away or something. I don't know, and I didn't want to be too aggressive about it because I'm like, it's still a great instrument. I actually felt bad saying that. Wow, so they said, I'm glad you're happy with the guitar and the sale. Unfortunately, yes, the case was kept on our farm list and having oiled all over the body of the guitar before we send. Must have picked up the smell of the case. Why would you sell it in a case that you know smells that bad? That's crazy. I mean, literally, I'm not even kidding. It smelled so bad. Maybe take some dryer sheets. I apologize again, but the beautiful music the instrument producers will hopefully make you happy. Wow. Yeah, so I knew there was something, but they had to have known that when they sold it, because that was just not even, that was not okay. So now what are we doing here? So did we win that event? No. We get rolled at the event. Yeah, so we got to do the event still. Well, I don't know how long you've been playing World of Warcraft or if you play it, but I've really been evaluating if it's sometimes you do things for fun and sometimes it takes up a lot of your life. Sometimes it takes up too much of your life, you know. I've had periods where I just played WoW, way too much. I coped with life basically. I'm a pop hero and go to town on this Jaint Bay person. Say, hey, oh, okay. Ninjutsu. So this is where I need to get my flame shock on people and just start ripping. See, this obviously a lot of people here helping me out, but yeah, you can see these people falling pretty fast. You know, shamans used to have, and they were feared, especially in PvP against when they fought priests, because they could just purge a priest's stuff off like all day long. But I don't find so much that's like the biggest advantage I find of a Ellie shaman. I mean, it's great to have that offensive dispel, but the burst that they have is just crazy. If you slap a CC on someone and you've got like a lava burst proc and some cooldowns ready, man, you can just dump so much damage into somebody. It's really insane, especially if you're rolling with a rogue, and the rogue does I forget what that skill is, expose weakness or find weakness, and it does extra damage to people. How does like 10% damage on the target, or I can't remember what it is, and man, that just it just destroys people. Especially when you have, I mean, I've got about 18% versatility, so do about 20% extra damage, which is muted to some degree by someone else's versatility, and then also their trinket, or if they have two trinkets, they get automatic 15% damage reduction. But still, just the fact that lava burst crits, I mean, even if they're not huge crits, I mean, any crit that you can get out of that is scary, because you see your health start to spike really fast, and especially if I've got Ascendance up, I'm uninterruptible. I can't be, I can't be interrupted or silenced. So the only thing you can do is CC. But yeah, then if you drop especially in arena, if you drop a grounding or a tremor totem or both, and then you do your burst, you can reflect sheeps, you can do all sorts of stuff, which is super sneaky. But I feel like shamans are the class that probably get almost the least amount of attention in WoW, just for the simple fact that people just, it's like it's not the cool class to play. You know what I mean? Like there's just amount of attention. There's so many other classes that people tend to like to play. Whether it's warriors, or people like to play mages, or just, I don't know, shaman just seems like it's always been sort of the dark horse of the game.
I don't have a target. Still recharging.
It's funny. I bet you there's a lot of people that work at night. I used to work at night, and the only way I kind of got through night shifts was often just playing video games. Played WoW, I played all sorts of stuff. I played, just so many different games I played. It was crazy. And in the end, I remember thinking, oh, you know, one of my friends said, you know, if we invested as much time in anything else as we invested in WoW, we would probably be the best in the world at it, you know, which, you know, it could very well be true. But yeah, I kind of laugh because when you look at, well, this character is wonderful. I say played 2 days. That's not bad. It's like, it was a boost, so of course it's, oh, here, I've got the last thing. That's wonderful. I'm sitting there gabbing away. Yeah, it's kind of funny. PvP in this game is this weird teeter-totter. It's a teeter-totter of like balances, skill, and class rebalances, and you know, just it's weird. There's never. It just seems like there's never a yeah, there's never a really standardized experience. You know, like I remember when Death Knights first came out, they were crazy. Death Knights were just the most overpowered. Like, you know, they blew away every rock paper scissors combination. I mean, they had huge self heals, anti magic, anti melee. They could tank, they could DPS. Yeah, they're just pretty unstoppable once they got geared. Their mobility wasn't great, but their ability to slow people down and keep them close was pretty crazy. And their burst is not bad depending on what they're spec'd as. But I just remember when they first came out, they were probably just the most annoying class. I remember even as a super geared warrior in Wrath, just being so annoyed because, especially if you are a healer, like if you're playing a healer with the warrior, because I could put a lot of pressure on, but they could just heal themselves back up even if you do a spike and you know, time some CC to get their healer out of the fight for a little bit. They can take so much abuse if they have cooldowns up. It's just disgusting. Especially as a warrior, that was really hard. I mean, you had to live with Mortal Strike on, but overpower when it was still on there, like when it was still a skill, is yeah, it was good for reducing healing, but yeah, that was just a rough time for warriors, that's for sure. I never got when it was current the PvE axe. I never got that when it was current. I only got it when it was like 2 expansions later or something. 3. I think I got it in the SOO era. So what is that? 2 expansions later. But I got the epic part of it, the 264 axe, and I got a bunch of the other things. I just didn't have all the didn't do the other parts. Like I didn't have the Serenite. I didn't have the amount of kills and like all that stuff. But I remember making the items after I finally did it. I was just like, that was such a moment of triumph. I don't think I've had a bigger moment of triumph in WoW than that, other than, even though I think it was just nostalgia, because I think that was probably one of my favorite expansions. And then I remember getting my first character was a priest. It was a night elf priest, and then I had a human priest. And I got a benediction in the guild that I was in. And yeah, I just remember being so proud. I was like, wow, this is so amazing. And I wound up selling that character for like not that much money. Well, not enough money to have made it worth it in retrospect. I really wish I kept that character. And the sad thing is I still see it on Khadgar, and I don't even think the person logs on anymore. And I was tempted to go and ask one of the service reps if they would allow me to have that account back. You know, explain like, oh yeah, you know, I let someone use it and now I don't know, you know, password anymore. You know, something, you know. But yeah, I just haven't done it. I probably should. I wonder what they would do though. Probably nothing.
I need to get closer. It's too far away.
because it's probably on like a whole other account that might be attached to other characters, and they're certainly not going to move one character off
That's still recharging.
just for me.
That spell isn't
Maybe
ready.
they will.
It's still recharging. I can't cast that yet. That spell
Man, this
isn't
game is so mindless
still
sometimes.
recharging.
I always laugh at people's names. Not that Bean Baggins is like some kind of name that strikes terror into the heart of anybody, but so yeah.
I don't have a target.
It's kind of this weird bittersweet thing at the end of a expansion, you know, that especially if you know that the expansion's coming out in September, you're like, that's not that far away. I mean, it's far enough away that you're like, you don't want to completely just stop playing. You know, they just started a new PvP season like in November or whatever it is. So you're like, I don't know. But then in the end too, it's just like everything is that carrot. Everything is that always, always, ever out of reach carrot that's their whole game formula. Whether it's raiding or PvP or whatever it is, even if you get the best, it's just like the funniest business model. They just give you all this amazing stuff and then they say, oh, you know, you have to do it again. It's just crazy. It's like saying you bought a car, but then after you finally pay for it and it's yours, you have to like, you know, you've got to buy it again. It's just like, what? And they make it worthless. That's the funny thing. It's not like you have a choice. I know in Guild Wars and other games, like, you have a choice. You know, the items are cosmetic. But this, you know, if you want to still keep playing in the current content and actually see the current content, you can't do it at the same level cap that you were previously, and you can't do it with the same gear because your gear will, you know, hit people like a wet sock. So, not that I've hit people with a wet sock very often, but I can imagine it's not that effective if you're fighting a dragon. Could be though. Wow, I'm like shivering. I'm so cold. I definitely caught some kind of cold or something. Not sleeping enough, and now all of a sudden I've got some kind of sickness. Not surprising. I have a very loud mechanical keyboard. It's something that I really have gotten used to, but it's funny because I just recently got it, and everyone that I read about, they're like, oh yeah, those things are so loud, it's incredible. And I remember thinking like, oh, you know, it can't be that loud. And then I was like, no, I remember when I was younger and I was in high school and we had to learn how to type. And it was exactly what we had to learn to type on. It was these like old keyboards that, yeah, they're from like IBM or some like crazy thing. I feel fangirl because he's a boss, but he's not that much of a boss.
I need to get closer. I'm out of range. It's too far away.
Come on, fangirl, you can do it. What's actually going on back here? You got some... I always laugh how many people die trying to kill that silly Jaren Firestorm dude. It's like they get blown... I've been blown off there, like... It's like getting blown off when you're in the, in Siege of Orgrimmar on top of the towers for the dragon boss. You gotta go up there and shoot the cannon and knock the the ads off and hit the captains and all that. If the captains blow you off, it's just like you're dead.
The Alliance be at the gates to arm soldiers of the Horde.
Soldiers of the Horde. Oh man, I just watched episode 1 of Star Wars the other day again. Phew, man, that was just... I don't know what George Lucas was thinking. That was just like... Yeah, that was just like a strange, strange movie. I mean, Jar Jar Binks? I mean, what in the world? I have a very loud mechanical keyboard. It's something that I really I've gotten used to, but it's funny because I just recently got it, and everyone is that I read about, they're like, oh yeah, those things are so loud, it's incredible. I remember thinking like, oh, you know, it can't be that loud, and then I was like, no, I remember when I was younger, and I was in high school, we had to learn how to type, and it was exactly what we had to learn to type on. It was these like old keyboards that, yeah, they're from like IBM or some like crazy thing. Fangirl, because
You have proven yourself worthy of avoiding my wrath.
stuck.
Orders confirmed. On the move.